What's up, wonderful image bearers? It is me, CA3, and here's what I read today.
Just then his disciples came back. They were shocked to find him talking to a woman, but none of them had the nerve to ask, "What do you want with her?" or "Why are you talking to her?" The woman left her water jar beside the well and ran back to the village, telling everyone,
"Come and see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could he possibly be the Messiah?"
So the people came streaming from the village to see him. Meanwhile, the disciples were urging Jesus.
"Rabbi, eat something."
But Jesus replied, "I have a kind of food you know nothing about."
"Did someone bring him food while we were gone?"
The disciples asked each other. Then Jesus explained, "My nourishment comes from doing the will of God who sent me, and from finishing his work. You know the saying, 4 months between planting and harvest? But I say, wake up and look around, the fields are already ripe for harvest. The harvesters are paid good wages, and the fruit they harvest is people brought to eternal life. What joy awaits both the planter and the harvester alike. You know the saying, one plants and another harvests. And it's true, I sent you to harvest where you didn't plant. Others had already done the work, and now you will get to gather the harvest."
So Jesus understood that while we do need to nourish our physical bodies, there's a greater form of nourishment that we should focus on. Spiritual nourishment comes from doing the will of God and being in communion with Him. Our spirit is nourished first, all of the needs will be taken care of. That's Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these other things will be added to you. Jesus uses a harvest metaphor here, making it clear that we should not delay when it comes to doing the work of God. He told the disciples, man, forget the normal harvest time, okay? Because there is plenty that's already ripe out there. Essentially, he was saying, don't make excuses to not go out and do what I've called you to do. And this can apply in personal situations too. That family member that you know ain't saved, but you're scared to talk to, that friend or whatever, man, stop delaying when it comes to the eternity of people's souls. Don't make excuses to not share the gospel or be a light. Like Jesus said, we must do the work while it's day because one day night is coming. So Jesus tells the disciples he sent them to harvest where they did not plant. The groundwork had been laid all throughout biblical history for the coming Messiah. So the people were ready for the Messiah, they just didn't understand the spiritual implications of what that would mean. So now that he was there, the disciples were commissioned with preaching his message, not of an earthly kingdom, but of the kingdom to come. We have to understand that being able to be commissioned for God's purposes is a privilege, y'all. Also, we must realize that we don't save people. God himself uses various means, methods, and people to simultaneously plant, water, and grow. Salvation is of the Lord, y'all, not us. So no hate to, your fancy evangelism pitches and, your fancy gospel tracks and whatnot. All of that stuff is great. But at the end of the day, you got to remember, one person may plant, one person may water, but ultimately God is the one who gives the increase. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all be easy. God bless you. And I love you.